Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Huddle with Hud Jackson and Ryan Tow. Once again, my name is Ryan Tow. I'm the Assistant Athletic Director for Athletic Communications here. I'm joined by Hud Jackson, our Athletic Director and Head Football Coach. Coach, how are we doing this morning?
Doing good. Weather's nice, so
It feels fantastic outside.
It does. This week of practice has been awesome with the cool weather. It sort of triggers something within our players to get after a little bit more. So it's been great.
Well, I would assume so, with it not being 95 degrees out there. What is it? This morning it feels like it's like 65. Like, it feels nice outside.
Actually, I thought it was around 50 this morning.
If it's around 50,
yeah.
I'm more about that.
So today after we get done with football practice, we have ice baths, and so it's going to be a little bit different feel today for our guys. It'll be cold, a little bit cooler outside, plus that water's going to be cold. So
absolutely. Well, Coach, we had a big week of athletics so far. We had a great big weekend. Last weekend, big weekend coming up, of course. So let's talk about it. This past weekend, took down Arkansas Tech for football. How does that make you feel? I know you're enjoying it.
Yeah. But I mean, I've said this before. Me and Jimmy Sledge talk, each week before our next game, and we always talk about how hard it is to win in this conference. I mean, not only was our win a huge win, again, any win you get in the conference is big, but like if you looked around the league, there was a lot of games that were close, I guess somewhat upsets, but this conference is, any given Saturday, anybody can win. And this past Saturday, proved that, and yeah, results, and that's great for our league. It really is, and so we're excited where we're at. We're looking forward to the challenge this week against Southwest Oklahoma, but I tell you, the environment at the game this past weekend was great. It was family and parent weekend, and we're trying to get our student body. Students involved in our games and game days, and we're going to keep working on that. But it was a great crowd. I think everybody's really involved in it, and I think the same thing's happening in volleyball. And obviously we want that to roll over into basketball and baseball and softball, just to create that great atmosphere. So everything about this past week was really good and from the football perspective in the game. But we had a lot of other great things going on, with volleyball really doing well, and that's exciting too.
Absolutely. And so I know volleyball this past week, or yesterday, or what, Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday they had not even a try match. They had two teams come in for a doubleheader. Ended up, you could say stomping them. It was 3-0 both games, which was huge for us because that looks really good. It's always nice to see our team winning. But they've got a big game coming up tonight and tomorrow. I know they're going with the same place you guys are, first to Southwestern Oklahoma. I'm curious to see how that plays out, just because it's a different area, it's a new place, completely new state for them this year. I'd be curious to see how it goes. I'm excited for them, and I hope that it goes well, of course.
Yeah.
And that game plan.
Yeah, that'll be that whole trip. Because like you said, it's Southwest Oklahoma. That's a pretty long trip, and then they have to take Northwest, which is the furthest point from Monticello that you could possibly get. So I know Coach Katrina's, really, really excited about this road trip to see where her team's at, and they're doing really well in conference right now, taking them one at a time. And those two games they had on Tuesday was good for them. And but I know they were looking forward to this trip, and it'll give them a good feel where they're at in conference. But I'm telling you, the culture that she's developing is great, and we're getting the games are fun to go to. Our crowds get into it. Our student athletes in particular really get into the games to show the support, to our volleyball team. So I'm looking forward to, like you said, being able to watch it and see where our ladies end up after the next couple of days.
Absolutely. And I know we had our women's golf team finish up this past Tuesday as well out there in Shawnee, Oklahoma. They had the OBU Invitational tournament.
Right.
I believe they finished 5th in the tournament. We had some players that did relatively well. It looked like across the board the course seemed hard because there wasn't many scores from anybody or any team where were like fantastic. And I think Ken ended up telling me that too. I don't know if it was a wind factor with it being in Oklahoma, or if there was just a hard course in general that it seemed difficult for a lot of people. But yeah, I think they did fantastic. It's a 5th place finish, but when you look at it across the board, I think they played relatively well. The scores were pretty close.
It's funny. I was talking to Coach Hamilton yesterday, and he was saying that as well. And it's right. The win in Oklahoma, it's a whole nother animal. I mean, we got Southwest this week for football. I mean, I've seen punts in a football game at Northwest Oklahoma go backwards. So it happened. So I'm sure the win had an effect on our ladies in the tournament. But Coach Hamilton's excited about the competition that is being created leading up to these tournaments. Because they play during the week to see who goes on these to their matches, and that is an amazing way to create an unbelievable amount of competitive. That's what you want. I mean, you want them getting out there each day trying to figure out who's going to be that next group. And I think in this past tournament, there was a couple people that played really well in comparison to a couple other tournaments they had. So, I think he feels like both with his men's and women's teams that, getting as many people in the top 25 as they can is what's going to push them, to winning tournaments. And, man, and look, they've done great. And Coach Hamilton's done a tremendous job. But he's on the edge of that seat to get that match won, and so that they can, have a real feel about that part of it. But they're playing well, and they're really, really. I like how Coach Hamilton has created that culture. We keep saying that word, but that's the key, and they understand where he's coming from. So that's a big part of it too.
Absolutely. And one of the things I did want to talk about with golf is I like that you bring that up. Is the inter-competition. I did want to talk about how they do have qualifying competitions among themselves, and I haven't been to them. I don't know if anybody besides them and Coach Hamilton's been there to watch those happen, but I'd be curious to see if there's any, grudges held between each other, just, only competition-wise, right. Just to try and, beat each other. I know that there's rivalries in many sports, but, you could see how that would work out between our players being I just want to beat you by one stroke to get me into this tournament.
Right. And it's funny because how they get seeded going in and all that would be interesting. But I hope and believe that competition they have with each other is a genuine, get after competitive, and they know each other type deal, and trying to figure it out. But I just think how that happened, and you do that with other sports, but with golf, it's one-on-one. Let's get after it, see what happens, and I think that again, Coach Hamilton's created that environment that's been very, very good for them.
Absolutely. I know we used to do that with baseball. Even if I'm sure football does it in the weight room, I know you guys have that competition board over there of different weights of who's got the heaviest weight lifted. We definitely did that among ourselves, trying to just one-up each other each week.
There's no doubt. I think with all athletes, they have that in their brain, So, that's what makes all our guys better.
So I wanted to bring up the fact that we were in Oklahoma this weekend for football. How does that affect the game? I know you said punts will end up going backwards sometime, but is there really a bigger factor besides just punts? Would it be is there a higher chance of interceptions, of course, because the ball don't know where it's going sometimes? But how do you look at that?
I think from the kicking aspect, it plays a role. But when you're actually playing, I don't think it has that big of an effect. The travel aspect of it for all of our sports when we go into Oklahoma, that's something you got to overcome. And going up a day early. I mean, you're talking about a 7-hour trip, 6.5, 7-hour trip. You want to get up there so we can get their legs back underneath them. But again, that's for everything. That's not just for football. I mean, that's for all the sports, and that's a big part of it. So just getting there and getting settled as quick as possible, so that when the game time comes, we're in that mode we need to be in, just like we were at home. So, the win part of it, I'm sure in some sports could be, it could affect, and it does in the special teams part for football. But for the most part, it's. I don't know if it can affect an outcome of a game. Knock on wood, I don't want it to be that for us, but it's sometimes you got to overcome that challenge.
Definitely, yeah. Those long road trips can make a difference. I know 8 hours on a bus can be a little painful when you get off and got to stretch the legs a little bit. So it's definitely different than when we go to, say, Harding, where we're only driving a couple hours. You can go the day of the game, really get those stretching out, but 8 hours is something else. You're uncomfortable. You're your body's going to be hurting a little bit, and you might as well get that good night rest in before you can move around.
That's our goal. So, and I think that's for everybody. But it's when you're dealing with big guys sitting on the bus for a little bit, we try to break it up and do a little walkthrough at a high school on our way there, and just try to make it where it's done in different 2.5 hours. Get them off the bus, get them moving around. So, yep, it's a part of it. But that's being a student athlete at the college level. It's part of the game.
For sure. Let's talk about the Hall of Fame ceremony coming up. We have it on October 6th, right before the homecoming game. We have 4 former athletes. Well, I guess 5 with Jeremy. He's a former athlete as well.
That's right.
But 5 former athletes going in, and then Jeremy, which is our Baptist, what is it, Christian Ministry? Yeah, the BCM. He's the director over there on campus, and he's getting the Spirit Award this year. And I believe tickets are going on sale right now. Are still on sale, $25 a piece for anybody to come. And I mean, it's a big deal having former athletes going to the Hall of Fame here, and it's always cool to have people come watch that happen. And
I think, you know, if somebody wants to come, they just need to get in touch with the athletic department. Our number is 870-460-1057 or 1058, and they'll get you connected with 𝗗𝗜𝗦𝗖𝗟𝗔𝗜𝗠𝗘𝗥 Pace, who handles those tickets. But we're really excited about next Thursday night. This is a big honor for the people that are being inducted, and you know they're going to have their families here, and it's just a big deal, and it's all about them. You know, we minimize our presence as far as athletics, other than introducing, Jeremy. Not only is he being honored as a Spirit Award winner, he's also going to be the MC for the ceremony. So he'll introduce each one of the inductees, and then each one of the inductees will have an opportunity to speak, which is always good to sit back and listen, because we're able to get some of our student athletes that are here now. They're able to go to it. You know, we want to bring a few of our student athletes so they get to witness that, because look, get inducted to a Hall of Fame at the college that you played, that's a big deal. That's being an All-American, an All-Conference, an All-Region player, that's not easy to do. And all these people that are being inducted did that, and they had a huge impact on their teams while they were here. And so it's exciting. And we're really, the group of people that are going in are just really good people. And it's going to be an exciting night. And if you want to, sit back and listen to some stories of some people and what they've had to maybe overcome, to get to UAM and how they were able to be success, come out. We'd love to have you. And like I said, Ryan said we got tickets on sale, and that's a big deal for us. The Hall of Fame is one of our big presentations that we put together here in the athletic department. Got a lot of people working on it to make it a really, really nice night. It will be live streamed. Yes. And that's in case people can't make it. We started doing that last year. I don't know if it was the year before, but last year it went over really well. So we're going to do that again this year, and so that people at home can also watch these great people being inducted. So looking forward to it. Can't wait. Homecoming's going to be a busy week too, Ryan. You know that. That's we got a lot going on during that week. A lot of different organizations on this campus are doing different things at different venues here on our campus and then off campus as well. And then we got the kickoff at 2 o'clock next week. But it's sort of hard to talk about. I don't know if we're going to do another podcast next week for next Friday, but it's sort of hard to talk about that game for me as a coach, because we got a game coming up this Saturday. But we are looking forward to homecoming and getting a lot of people on campus to celebrate and talk about our new Performance Center.
I was going to say, that is one thing I'm very excited for, because it's really the first time that we're truly showcasing the work that's been put into the building. Kind of showing off what's going to be the next steps. I know I went in there. They were painting the other day, I believe, or yesterday, and I haven't seen it in there. I don't know what all has been painted, what it looks like. But I know when I walked in there the other day, it feels weird to stand on the floor and know that this is the deep end of the pool that was here. So it is very cool, and I'm excited to have that next look forward.
And we'll break that down, too, on that Saturday, because I know that you've put out a couple of deals on social media and our website about it. We are going to have a gathering starting at 10 o'clock on Saturday. We'll have a tent set up, between Union Bank and Commercial Bank's tailgating area. It's just a meet and greet starting at 10 o'clock for all former student athletes, for anybody actually that wants to come by because we just like to meet everybody, and we'll have some things set up there at the tent. But at 10:30 on Saturday, we're going to make our way over to the Performance Center, where we're going to have a presentation. We're going to have a PowerPoint presentation to show the next step, to show what we're wanting to do, and that we need everybody's help.
Is there any new renderings that I don't know about yet?
Well, there's the PowerPoint presentation that we'll give will have a little bit more of what some things will look like.
Okay.
The renderings that we have, are pretty basic renderings, but we will have a little bit more to show. Dr. Doss will speak at it. I'll speak at it. And just talk about how important this place is going to be. And we need as many people, not just student athletes, we need as many people to come to that 10:30 presentation. We'll have placards there for people that are willing to donate to this project. We'll have all that information needed for that to happen, because that's going to be the key. That presentation is going to be really important, but we've been putting it out quite a bit, and it will be the key, for us to get it completed, because that is going to benefit all student athletes. Every person that is a student athlete at UAM will benefit from that weight room, from that training room, and that's what it's about. And again, we want that to snowball into the next project, and I think that when people see this, they're going to be excited, Ryan. So I can't wait.
I couldn't agree more. I know I'm looking forward to it, and we've been looking forward to it for a while. Pretty much since their first renderings really came out, it's something that I have wanted to see officially be completed, because I know it is going to benefit everybody. Well, Coach, do you have anything else?
I don't. I know you got somebody you want to talk to right now, so
I do. So thank you guys for listening. We do appreciate it. It's always nice to get all this information out and talk about everything UAM Sports and UAM Athletics. So we appreciate you listening, and we will see you guys in the next one.